Hola, muy buenas tardes. Hoy estamos aquí con su host, Rosemary Live TV, y estamos con una nueva candidata que se está lanzando para US Senate de los Estados Unidos. Su nombre es Stephanie Phillips y vamos a escuchar de nuestra candidata por qué se está lanzando, por qué es importante los temas de hoy para nuestra comunidad hispana y para el estado de Nevada y los Estados Unidos. Stephanie, welcome to Rosemary Live TV. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm really excited that you're here and that you're running for U.S. Senate. Tell me why you're running and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have lived in Las Vegas for over 30 years. I've been in the real estate business that whole time. And I've owned my own company for 19 years, and I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. They're 19 and 22. My son serves the country, so I'm a military mom. And I started a nonprofit a couple years ago to help hungry and trafficked children in our valley. And I've helped a lot of charities over the years, and I'm very involved in children's charities. But I hopped into politics during COVID because I didn't like what they were doing to us. They shut our businesses and our schools, our churches, and masked our kids and us, and then said you had to take a jab to keep your job, and everything they did was unconstitutional and un-American. I didn't recognize the country I was living in. So I hopped into politics, and I have been planning this run ever since, and I helped a lot of candidates in the last cycle, and I learned a lot. I had my own podcast. I joined every club that I could and just was really involved to learn and to meet, people that I needed to know because I was preparing for this run.
Tell me a little bit of why you protect children from gender confusion. No boys and girls sports and private spaces fight to end sex trafficking.
Because these kids are being taught lies. They are being taught men can have babies and lactate and menstruate. And we all know that that is false. Putting a biological boy in a girl's sport program or in her private spaces, that's absolutely ludicrous. That should never happen. They are wanting to protect the rights of one child, but they're not thinking about all of the girls that is affecting. And it's just completely unfair. We just from a biological standpoint, we know this. And I would never stand for that. I think it's terrible.
La pregunta que se le hizo a ella fue sobre el sexo. Hoy en día estamos viendo que en las escuelas están enseñándoles a los jovencitos de que está bien de que ellos se pueden cambiar el sexo, su transgender. Ellos pueden convertirse de un hombre a una mujer y nosotros como latinos sabemos que nuestros padres, nuestros abuelos nos inclinaron que un matrimonio era entre una mujer y un hombre y que cuando nacía un hijo iba a ser un varón, no una mujer. Entonces ella está diciendo que eso no está bien cuando los operan, cuando les hacen operaciones, los hacen creer en las escuelas de que tu hijo ya no es Johnny, sino es María. Entonces, como nosotros como latinos somos conservadores, nuestros padres, nuestros abuelos nos inclinaron, una cosa de estas no puede ser. Bueno, yo no sé en sus casas, pero yo sé que mi mamá y mis abuelos no apoyarían algo de esto. Okay, so I just translated a little bit to them about the transgender and how Hispanics are very conservative, and our parents and grandparents would never allow these type of teachings or any type of operations towards any transgender or any type of, Y otra de las cosas que vamos a hablar es del sex trafficking. Tell me a little bit about the sex trafficking, not only international, but national.
That's a huge problem. It's been a problem for a long time, but the border, of course, being wide open, that makes it even worse. And I have been involved in children's charities for 30 years. And one of them in particular has gone internationally to rescue these trafficked children, get them out of there, rehabilitate them, house them, and give them a fresh start. Some of these kids, 6, 7 years old, and they are used multiple times a day. We see 2-year-olds now, 5-year-olds. I mean, the kids that they're bringing across the border and using, there's about 2 million children estimated here in our country that are held as sex slaves. And this trafficking industry is over $150 billion industry. I've been involved with it for so long and have donated thousands of dollars and a lot of volunteer time. It's something that I pay attention to, and I don't hear a lot of our elected officials talking about it. And I was talking to a gentleman who works on a federal task force here, and he said that his funding is 12 to 13 million. That's it, to fight that large of a problem. And so that's one thing that I intend to get an adequate amount of funds and resources, manpower, to actually go and rescue these kids, because they don't have a voice. They're innocent. It's up to us parents, us adults, to do something about that. And they're not doing enough. They're not doing enough. And these kids are being tortured every single day.
Sabemos que en los Estados Unidos, tanto como nacional e internacional, tenemos muchísimos niños que están siendo traficados dentro de los Estados Unidos y internacionalmente en Centroamérica, México y todos los países, y venden a los niños por dinero y los violan. Perdón con la palabra, pero los violan como 7 veces al día. Y there's a movie that was made.
Sound of Freedom.
Se llama Sound of Freedom. Y si ustedes van a ver esa película, se van a dar cuenta que hay mucho abuso de niños, tráfico humano de niños, tanto como adultos. Adults too are being human trafficked. Let's talk about no increase in taxes. We know that since Biden has been in office, there's been a huge tax increase.
Have signed the no new tax pledge, and I think they tax us to death. They tax everything. Your income, sales tax, property tax. I mean, you just go down the list. And, you know, Trump, under his administration, he had lowered the taxes, and a lot of people we were paying less, had more in our pockets. We need to get back to that. And part of this problem, too, with the economy is this inflation, and prices are so high. People are struggling. I hear that all over where I go. The electricity, the gas prices have gone up. Gas for your car, groceries, I mean, everything. And these people that are on fixed incomes, what are they doing? They're hundreds and hundreds of dollars more that they have to spend, but their income is not going up. So we need to help these people, and we need to get the right people in office who are actually going to do something.
Ella no apoya que aumenten los taxes, los impuestos. Sabemos que desde que entró Biden de presidente ha aumentado los impuestos, y también la inflación ha afectado a muchas familias en los Estados Unidos y en todos lados, no nomás en los Estados Unidos. Y sabemos que la gente que está recibiendo poco dinero, como gente que tiene seguro social, gente que tiene muy poco dinero, entrada de dinero, no les están aumentando, tanto como en los trabajos también, que la gente gana poco y no puede pagar una renta. There's a lot of families going homeless as well due to inflation. Y es una de las cosas que también ella no apoya, de que la inflación siga aumentando. La siguiente pregunta es, tell me a little bit about investigate corruption in the FBI and DOJ. Tell me a little bit about that.
We have seen massive corruption in the FBI. Well, you know, all the alphabet agencies. And I believe there's a 2-tier justice system that we see, and they go after conservatives, but the liberals get let out. They don't go after them. And it's all politically driven and motivated. And we see what they have done to President Trump. And it's so obvious. And these judges are corrupt as well. So I would like to see Congress have some more oversight of what's going on. We see these FBI whistleblowers that come forward. Those people need to be protected. That whatever they bring forward needs to be investigated. It needs to be followed up. Right. And, just the Hunter laptop. Look how long the FBI has sat on that. And then they all lied and said it was Russian disinformation and all that, and it was fake. Now we know it's real, and it was, and they were protecting Biden because it came out right before the election. That kind of stuff we have to have equal justice in this country, and it is not that way anymore. So I intend to do something about that too and have some oversight and accountability.
Wonderful. Yo le hice una pregunta que por qué ella apoya al FBI que haga investigaciones. Hay muchísimos fraudes, hay mucha corrupción dentro de los partidos también, porque tratan de bajar a los candidatos por medio de falsa información para que ese candidato no corra para presidente o no corra para cualquier posición, y tratan de aumentar mentiras para afectar la vida de ese candidato para que no puedan correr. Talking about corruption, and how do you feel? And this is very, very important. How do you feel about candidates running to make a difference and people that are really for us, for the people, and they don't get a chance to run because they don't have enough money to be able to run and be our next congressman or be the next candidate, let's just say the next candidate for office, because such and such, John Wilson, didn't have millions of dollars, so therefore we're not going to pick John Wilson, but we're going to pick Mary Jones, because Mary Jones has $3 million to put up in her campaign.
Thank you for asking that, because people think it's all about the money, and it's not all about the money. Money does not make the candidate, because I can look in this race and I can tell you the one with the money is not the best candidate. In fact, I don't believe that he will win and be successful against Jackie Rosen. So we have seen political outsiders across the country come into politics. They don't have a lot of money. Do you remember the New Jersey truck driver that put in just a very little bit amount of money? And he won a 15-year incumbent Democrat. He took over that seat. People, when they've had enough, then they vote differently. And I think that we're in a place in this country now that we've had enough, and they're destroying our country. And if we don't stand up and get the right people in office, we're going to lose our country. And I believe 24 is the last stand. So I just tell people, vet your candidate. Look who has been in the state. What do they have? How long have they lived there? What do they have vested in the state? What have they been doing? What have they contributed to the community? Did they just move in from another state looking for a seat to run? Because we've got carpetbaggers in this race. We have opportunists that are wealthy that throw their money around and try and buy a seat. You really have to drill down to why is somebody running? What is it? And with me, I am so passionate about this. You can hear it in my voice. And I'm tired of these candidates going to Washington and not representing us. They're the wrong candidates. We need fighters. We need people who are going to stand for we the people, for all of us here, and not forsake the people once they get to Washington because they get all tied up with the money and power and the name and all of that. That's not what's important. What is important is getting the right person there who's going to stand for we the people, and that is me.
Yo le hice a ella una preguntita muy importante. La pregunta fue sobre, tenemos candidatos que del corazón, ellos quieren lanzarse y quieren correr para congresistas, senadores, pero hay veces no pueden y no los eligen porque no tienen dinero, no tienen millones de dólares para ponerlos en el puesto que ellos tienen que estar. Y como ella que está lanzándose, pero no tiene millones para ganarle a una candidata como la la que está ahora Jackie Rosen, entonces estamos hablando de la corrupción que hay dentro de los partidos también y que no dejan ganar a los candidatos que de veras están con la gente. Entonces, amigos, ¿qué está pasando con nuestro voto? ¿Nuestro voto cuenta? Does our vote count? I mean, we really want to know, or do we also have to give our candidates money so that they can be able to run and donate some money to our candidates? This is incredible. You know, this is really, really interesting. My community, my Hispanic community, the number one topic is immigration. Have you been to the border? You are going next month. That's wonderful. Yo le hice una preguntita que si ella va a ir a la frontera, porque sabemos que hay muchos de nuestros candidatos que tienen que ir a la frontera y tienen que ellos saber cuál es la razón porque hay mucha gente cruzando la frontera. Now tell me, do you support border security and why? And if you support illegal immigration, a lot of the undocumented families that are living here in the shadows do not support the illegal entry that is happening right now because these people have been here 30 and 40 years, 30 years, and they haven't been able to become legal. And they contributed to this country, and they have jobs, and they have businesses, and they have cars, they have children, but yet they're not able to become legal because there's a corrupt immigration system. They call it broken, but I call it corrupt because they're making billions of dollars, and we just talked about that. Human trafficking, that's part of all fentanyl and all of the above that's going on at the border. But tell us why you don't support illegals and illegal entry into the United States.
Well, what we have seen the last 3 years, I mean, what you're talking about, I understand that. That's a different group. But what has been happening at our border the last 3 years, they have allowed an invasion into the United States. In the Constitution, it says the president will protect our borders and our land. And we are at risk. And the money that is being given to them, all these $5,000 gift cards, free motel rooms, free housing, free medical services, free food. I mean, you hear people in these big cities where these people are being bused and shipped to, they're taking the food away from the American citizens that depend on those services to get food and housing and help and things like that. And they're allowing these illegals to come in and take over. So our people are hurting. They're serving illegals at the VA before our veterans. Yeah, that won't happen on my watch. I don't agree with that. And all of this that they're doing for these illegals, we're paying for. It's on our taxpayer dime. I don't give the government permission to spend my money like that. I'm sure you don't, and I'm sure none of these people give permission to our government to pay for people who are here illegally rather than American citizens. So we need to, and people who immigrated here to this country legally. If it weren't for legal immigration, I wouldn't be here because my great-grandfather came from Italy. So if it weren't for that, a lot of us wouldn't be here. But these illegals that are coming and the crime all over we see, and they have no respect for our laws. You see these in videos all the time on social media, and I would deport all of them, reinstitute, remain in Mexico, finish the border, and get this under control and get these terrorists out of our country to protect us, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I can see how these people coming into our homes, our communities and neighborhoods and attacking us in our homes. And people think, oh, this is America. It's never going to happen. Watch. So we need to get the right people in office who are going to stand up and protect this country.
Bueno, yo le acabo de preguntar a Stephanie de cómo se siente ella, cuál es su decisión sobre qué es lo que ella piensa sobre la gente que viene aquí ilegalmente, que acaba de llegar de otros países, les están dando tarjetas de $5,000, les están dando vivienda, les están dando medical, les están dando todo, vivienda donde vivir y todo. Y entonces, ¿qué también piensa ella de las personas que ya tienen 20 y 30 años aquí que no han arreglado? Que ella dice que toda esa gente que acaba de llegar tiene que esperar, porque hay gente aquí que tienen muchos años en los Estados Unidos, que ya tienen sus casas, tienen sus negocios. Entonces ella no apoya inmigración ilegal. Ella dice que si ella gana para senadora, ella sí va a deportar a toda esa gente que acaba de entrar ilegalmente, porque todos tienen que venir legalmente, y proteger la frontera, porque dentro de esa frontera viene mucha droga, viene mucho crimen y viene terroristas. Es más, they say that we already have terrorists in the United States, que ya hay terroristas en los Estados Unidos, y nosotros como americanos tenemos que apoyar a candidatos como Stephanie, porque si no, los afectados vamos a ser nosotros dentro de los Estados Unidos, y proteger a todos nuestros hijos. We need to protect our children.
And another note on that, being able to defend ourselves and protect ourselves, is I will defend the Second Amendment with everything I have. I have a CCW, and I carry everywhere I go, and I believe that we should have a national, universal CCW. You get one in one state, and it's good for all states, but I think that that's important to have somebody who is not going to ban this weapon, that weapon, high-capacity magazines. Not with me. I think the red flag laws that they have put into place in some of these states, like here, are completely unconstitutional.
Y también apoya a ella que nosotros carguemos armas, porque nos quieren quitar las armas. They want to take our guns away. And they want to take the rights away of us having protection, de poder tener protección, porque no sabemos hasta qué extremo se vaya a poner la situación en el futuro, y tenemos que estar armados para proteger a nuestras familias. We need to protect our families. Tell me a little bit about voter ID.
Well, that one is real simple. I believe we need national voter ID. We have to show our ID for everything we do. Drive a car, rent a hotel room, rent a car. I mean, everything we do to get services, welfare, you name it. You have to have an ID. Why do we not have to have an ID to vote? And I think people need to prove their citizenship, because you need to be a citizen to vote. That also is important. And we need to really, because we have problems with our elections. Everybody has seen it over the years. And it didn't just start. That's been around for a while. So election integrity is a big deal. And it's very important that we have secure elections. But voter ID, I would support nationally.
Le hice la pregunta de cuando nosotros vamos a votar, es importante de mantener y tener un ID, quiénes somos, y cada vez que vamos a votar es importante tener una ID de Nevada. Entonces, para poder proteger nuestros votos y proteger quién somos y cuántos están votando en el estado de Nevada. Okay, so Stephanie, I want to thank you so much for joining us today with Rosemary Live TV. Can you tell us how we can get a hold of you, or our voters can get a hold of you?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. My website is phillipsfornevada.com, and that's the number 4, phillipsfornevada.com. And all of my social media is at Philllips for Nevada. And again, that's the number 4. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Getter, and Truth. And on my website and on the card that you have on the back is my cell phone number. And that goes right here. So you can call me. Anybody can call me. People call me all the time and tell me their concerns, and I listen to them, and I call people back and, give them time. And I think I'm the most accessible candidate out there. And I also hold virtual town hall meetings every month. And next Tuesday, I'm having one on the 27th, and people can go onto my website and click Register Town Hall button, and people can join from wherever they are, whether it's anywhere in Nevada or anywhere in the country. So we welcome everybody to come and talk about whatever they want, ask whatever they want. I want people to know that they can get a hold of me and talk to me, not a campaign manager, not a consultant, not an assistant, but me.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming today, and I wish you the best of luck in your race, and we'll see if our community would like to vote, and she would like to ask for your vote for Stephanie Phillips, U.S. Senate. Muchísimas gracias a todos ustedes por estar aquí y por todas nuestras personas que están aquí hoy. Muchísimas gracias y los esperamos para la próxima en Rosemary Live TV. Rosemary Flores. Gracias. Más candidatos en el futuro para que ustedes puedan seleccionar su candidato, y acuérdese de que no siga votando por el mismo candidato que le da y le ofrece falsas promesas, porque de eso ya estamos cansados. Por eso el país está como está, y nada más ellos están lucrando de nuestra comunidad, nuestra gente, nuestro pueblo hispano, salvadoreño, mexicano, cubanos y de todo. Así que yo soy su activista pro inmigrante del estado de Nevada, Rosemary Flores. Gracias.